Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to another Sports
Podcast.
I am Joel Anderson.
I'm Jordan Pomaville.
And joining us, as always, is the sports outsider, Phil Ranta.
Hey, I'm outside, but it's wintertime, so I'm freezing.
Absolutely, guys.
Come on in. The
That-
fire
ooh,
of
it's
the hearth of sports in the wintertime is nice and
I feel
warm.
that crackling nutmegs on the fires.
Oh yeah, hear that log of statistical information.
Yeah, 2014. Happy 2014.
Yay!
2014, Phil. This is the year we're all making the switch and calling it 2014 as it
All
should
right.
be called.
2014.
Oh, hey.
2014.
2014.
I'm not going to wait until 2020.
No.
We're all going to switch over now.
You know, in the single digits, I made a concerted effort to try and bring back the aught.
Oh, yeah.
Aught 6,
Yeah.
aught 7, and it did not catch on. It was
That's
pretty much just
because-
me saying it, and then people going, what do you mean?
But what I'm talking about, this is how we say history. When
Yeah.
was Kennedy shot?
1963.
Not 1963. Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I thought.
That's true.
Actually, he's still alive in a bunker in Nevada.
yeah.
Ooh. But yeah, so hey guys, we are now in the third year of doing the Sports podcast in the Gordie Howe played in 5 decades sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So that's congratulations,
All
everybody.
right.
You
Phil,
made it.
did you catch any games over the holidays?
No, I still don't know anything about sports after 3 years.
Some things never change.
Wah, 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 wah.
Tim Tebow, update, watch, update, breaking news.
Tim Tebow, update, watch, update, breaking news. Brought to you by
Mentos, feel the rush in your mouth. Breaking news. Wicka, wicka.
Ooh, a little
Yeah.
urban flavor, I feel like, for
I
Mentos.
did. I
really,
feel
really glad our random drop selector picked up on.
I feel like that's shamelessly pandering by Mentos.
Yeah, like a McDonald's commercial, am I right?
Yeah, those are pretty shameless.
Straight racist.
Tim Tebow, hired by ESPN as college football analyst.
Hey, that's a job he can actually do.
Save the dates to go out by March.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Hey, here's the thing. You know why he's going to be good at being an ESPN analyst?
Say, why is that, Joel?
Because they never have to be accurate.
Just like he's not accurate in sports.
Right.
ESPN hired Tim Tebow for its upcoming SEC network, and he will make his broadcasting debut at the upcoming BCS National Championship game.
Hey.
The worldwide leader announced the hire in a conference call with Tebow and members of the media that lasted over 25 minutes.
Really?
Because of course it would.
Why?
Because
I thought you
it's
honestly.
ESPN talking about Tim Tebow.
You said
Oh, they
25,
love
and I was honestly like, hours? Really?
For comparison's sake, ESPN's hire of Jesse Palmer of NFL and The Bachelor fame was announced in a USA Today article in conjunction with an Applebee's ad that featured 15% off your total bill.
Hey, that's a good
yeah.
deal.
Yeah, excluding alcohol purchases and the chocolate lava cake.
Well, of course, still America.
And it started a partnership that would last for years to come between
Yeah.
Applebee's and Jesse Palmer. You know, it wasn't worth it in the end.
No, it's good though. I like it. Made me think of Applebee's, and Applebee's makes me think of family.
Yeah, that's true. But
Which
see,
is exactly why they never give you discounts in the drinks.
Right, just like my family.
They serve them, but Applebee's seems awfully judgmental about serving them to you.
Yeah, they are not good about having bouncers at the door kicking you out if you get in fights.
No, but if you think his taking a day job as a broadcaster is going to affect his ability to one day be an NFL quarterback, well, I LOL at you.
Yeah, right?
Because much like I have trouble letting go of the prospect that with the right time and training, I could someday be a starting middle reliever.
Probably not, Jordan.
No, but Tebow's not giving up on his dream to play in the NFL.
Good.
Yeah.
Said Tebow, I'm very excited to have this opportunity at ESPN, and who knows what the next few months will hold. I'll continue to train to be the best quarterback that I can be.
Aw.
I've been training very hard over the course of the last few months, 5 days a week, and I feel I'm the best that I've ever been as a quarterback right now, and I hope I get the opportunity to show that. But I'm also looking forward to be a part of the SEC Nation and being a part of ESPN.
5 days a week doesn't seem impressive. If he was like, I'm out there 7 days a week training, I'd be like, wow.
If you're training hard enough, you need rest days to recover so you can continue training hard.
I don't get rest days.
But
You're not training.
Also, it seems like professional athletes, often train 5 days a week. So him saying I train 5 days a week is really just saying, like, I'm training just as hard as everyone else, but really not harder.
I do have to say I agree with him. I do not think him having the job on ESPN is going to affect his ability to be an NFL quarterback at all.
Well, what is going to affect
I think what's
it?
preventing him from being an NFL quarterback is his inability to pass the ball.
Oh, snap, y'all.
I don't think any amount of time he spends on ESPN is going to change that. So
he responded to questions on why he took the job by saying, ESPN has been fellatiating me for a long time now, and as a lover and a provider, it is time I return the favor.
Yeah, so they're not going to pay him then?
Tim Tebow, update, watch, update, breaking news.
Tim Tebow, update, watch, update. Breaking news, brought to you by
Mentos. Feel the rush in your mouth. Breaking news. Wicked.
I'm disturbed by that.
Hey, guys, what do we got in the show today?
Oh, well, we've got an interview.
Wall-to-wall brilliance.
Wall-to-wall, just like this has been.
Yeah.
We're going to have a fella by the name of Lance Moore who plays for the Saints.
Ooh, wide receiver?
He got a touchdown and did a little dance from Key and Peele.
Oh, I love Key and Peele.
Yeah,
Key and Peele, best sketch show on television right now.
The Hingle McCringleberry dance where you hip thrust 3 times. He did that during a game.
Wow, referencing popular culture, and it's in his own segment of popular culture.
Right?
Yeah.
Very meta.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk to him.
We're going to talk to him about stuff.
We're also going to be looking at Craigslist ads. A lot of people realize Black Monday was just this last Monday.
What is Black Monday?
Black Monday is the Monday that follows the last Sunday of NFL regular season, and that is when teams usually fire their coach. So last year, 7 coaches lost their job on Black Monday. This year it was 4 coaches, but that's only because Gene Chudzinski? Chud something? The coach of the Browns got fired like before the end of the season because the Browns are terrible. But a lot of interesting anonymous Craigslist ads have popped up, so we're going to look at some of those.
All right, and we got news.
Yep.
And Phil, do we have an all-new Weird Sportsman?
You're goddamn right we do.
Yeah. I got to point out, Sportsman is somewhat discriminating. We're living in a Title IX society here, guys. It should sometimes be sportswomen, right?
Sportswomen can be sportsmen, too.
Yeah, okay.
That's the true nature of feminism, Joel.
Yep. Let's get it started. News on the Sports Podcast with Jordan, Joel, and Phil.
News. Jesse Palmer saves Chris Fowler's life.
More Jesse Palmer.
That's right. We talked to him earlier. College football analyst, former The Bachelor from season 5.
Jesse Palmer, one hell of a dude.
Golfer.
No.
Mixed together lemonade, iced tea, changed the generation.
That's Arnold Palmer. Jesse Palmer was a football player. He played in the NFL, also the Canadian Football League.
Fair enough.
So not really a football player.
But he saved Chris Fowler's life.
Who's Chris Fowler?
He's another ESPN college football analyst.
Raised chickens, ironic last name. Good man.
He's the host of College Football Game Day.
Okay, yeah.
But how did he save him?
I don't know.
Giving him BPA-free water bottles? Getting refined flour products out of his diet?
No cancer.
Or diverting a horde of middle-aged women who would have devoured Chris Fowler alive had it not been for Jesse Palmer's piercing blue eyes?
Ooh.
Nope, none of the obvious stuff. None of the obvious stuff. During halftime of the Pinstripe Bowl, played at Yankee Stadium, Jesse Palmer performed the Heimlich maneuver on Chris Fowler, whose respiratory function was impaired by a sandwich.
Uh-oh.
What's he doing eating a sandwich at the ball game?
It's halftime. It's halftime.
Oh, okay.
He's grabbing a snack. You got to power up. You do as many games as Chris
carbo
Fowler.
load, right?
Actually, doesn't it seem like at halftime that guy would be, because he's an analyst, right?
He was
Was he calling the game?
He was eating a sandwich.
Entirely unimportant, yeah.
He was choking to death on a sandwich.
What kind of sandwich?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Chris Fowler tweeted, "Never before needed a Heimlich at halftime, parenthetical, or anytime.
Ha, sucker.
Thanks, Jesse Palmer. He saved me from death by dry chicken sandwich." Really?
So it was dry.
Dry, and that's what's always going to do is when you have a dry sandwich or if you have too much peanut butter and you eat it too fast.
Right.
That's how you die.
That's true. If it's dry, then it's like sandpaper on your throat. The chicken just scrapes its way down.
Just a chicken sandwich?
That's what we
I
said.
mean, like chicken salad or turkey. Get with the
You
times,
can't
man.
choke on chicken salad. It's
Yeah, you're
made
not gonna
of
choke on-
mush.
It's
No,
a
I
chicken
agree with
sa-
it. I'm just saying, but as a sandwich order, who just orders a chicken sandwich?
Maybe want a
I
grilled
order
chicken
chicken
sandwich?
sandwiches all the time.
Whoa, you went up too high there, Phil.
No,
bring it
they're
back.
delicious.
No, bring it back.
You know how I get when we talk about chicken sandwiches, Jordan.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
Phil
I'm sorry.
apparently a huge fan of the chicken
I
sandwich.
love the chicken sandwich.
Just get a turkey sandwich.
Chicken sandwich is better.
Turkey is way better than. You know what? I'm not even.
Then Chris Fowler tweeted in a normal tone, not high pitched or anything. Not bad to have quick thinking ex-NFL player around when Heimlich needed. I'll take bruised ribs to avoid choking.
That's nice.
I mean, the other thing you're saying is the Heimlich. It is a serious maneuver. At times,
Oh, yeah.
I have been certified for this. I assume you guys as well. We've all been certified at
yes.
different points in our life.
Oh, vaguely.
I am a merchant marine after all.
You have to be really strong to actually make this work or be really good with your technique. So it's good to
Yeah.
have a guy, you know, I mean, and as good looking as Jesse Palmer to wrap his arms around and kind of
Right.
like go 5 fingers below the rib cage and just kind of find that sweet spot in your stomach. Sort of.
Yeah, and you have
Get
to go
in there.
nut to
But
butt
just hit it again
to do it.
and again and again.
And if lunch had taken Chris Fowler away from us, it would have been slightly more noble to go choking on a chicken sandwich, I think, than Mama Cass's ham sandwich.
I
do
But
think-
then you're also getting choking the chicken jokes told about you.
That's right.
Ooh.
Oh, homework, guys. Let's write a bunch of choking the chicken jokes for
Yeah.
next week.
New Orleans Saints looks for new ways to win road playoff games. Hint, beefaroni is involved.
Chef Boyardee, why does everything so good for you have to taste so bad?
The New Orleans Saints finished the season 11-5 and are headed to Philadelphia. They're going to Philadelphia, the Link, for an
Wait, they're playing on the road at Philadelphia?
Yes.
God, that's an injustice.
for an NFC wildcard game this Saturday. And before we continue the story, Joel would like to issue an apology to offensive guru Chip Kelly, who landed his team in the playoffs with a home game in the first round with Nick Foles. He is an offensive guru, right? Isn't that right, Joel? Is there anything you'd like to say?
I'm gonna, no.
Sorry, that's all the time we have, Joel. The public will just have to take me at my word that you are very sorry for ever doubting Chip Kelly's ability to run an NFL offense.
Joel.
You know, we did the same thing to me about Tim Tebow, and I wound up being mostly right about that.
No, that's
No.
not true. For one season, he was doing excellent.
Yeah,
Now,
I
the
remember that.
Saints are a dominant team at home. They go undefeated in the regular season at the Superdome, and historically, they've been lights out at home when they play in prime time. However, they're 0-5 in road playoff games, with
What?
3 of those losses coming under current head coach Sean Payton. So naturally, they're trying to change. They're changing a lot to change this record. And this is what Drew Brees said. He goes, "It is all about the new sweatsuits, the Beefy Mac, and the Gatorade flavor. We feel really good about what we have going this week with that. I can't wait to see those new sweatsuits, and hopefully that will change our luck."
Are they pregnant?
No,
That sounds like the
they're eating
description.
so much Beefy Mac they might as well be.
Well, I haven't heard anyone this excited for new sweatsuits since the inventor of sweatsuits died.
Right. Sweat to death.
Tragically at the age of 38.
Yeah, I believe it.
Beefy Mac?
Beefy Mac's good.
I assume they mean the meal before the game or the day before the game, and it's not like a new nickname for their third-string quarterback, Luke McCowan.
Yeah. If he's chubby. That's
Beefy
perfect.
Mac!
That
Yo,
would,
hey, everybody, it's Beefy Mac.
that would make for an excellent night before the game meal.
But Gatorade? You think getting a congressional budget deal is tough? Try getting an entire football roster to agree on the same Gatorade flavor.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Drew Brees, he's a berry flavor guy.
What?
And you can't get Marquise Colston away from citrus. Just try.
Right.
Some guys are just saying colors. That's not helpful. Always, there's 2 or 3 linemen pushing for the ice flavors, which was rebranded as Rain in 2006, and further rebranded to not be a brand anymore.
I don't understand.
This is tough.
I know.
No,
You can't. This is serious stuff. You're changing the Gatorade.
You know what you do?
flavor.
You
Yellow's-
wring out the coach's shirt and then you drink whatever's in there.
Yellow/lemon lime.
No,
That's the only palatable frickin' Gatorade flavor. I never drink any Gatorade other than that. I wouldn't. Not in a million years.
Head coach Sean Payton says when you change your Gatorade color, that's a big deal. The night before, what you eat is a big deal. Sweatsuits, the old ones were getting kind of raggedy to begin with anyway. We were trying to get a different name brand. I don't know. That was so funny to me. Peyton even played hip-hop music during stretching and individual drills during practice on Wednesday. So, Joel, they are even changing their tune.
Whoa.
Yeah. Real quick list.
I know it was a pun, Joel. We get it. You find them funny.
Other things the Saints are changing. It's a slight tweak of their 2014 Mardi Gras parade float theme from Hopeful Tomorrow to Leading the Future. Just a slight tweak there.
Yeah.
Their cleats will now go clack click instead of the more orthodox click clack.
Fair.
They're dropping their series record of NBC's The Blacklist.
Oh, that's
Just
good.
wait, let's just see this through, guys.
Yeah, come on. They're so close.
Warm-up stretches will be led by insult-shouting men wearing creepy Mardi Gras masks to simulate Philadelphia fans.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. They're changing their underpants. That's just good hygiene.
Yeah,
that's on here.
I do that too.
They're abandoning their whole defensive strategy of not attacking the head. That's dumb, right?
So instead, they're going to attack the head.
Right. Go back to old times.
That's
there in New Orleans. And during water breaks at practice, men wearing creepy Mardi Gras masks will piss on random players to simulate Philadelphia fans.
And eyes wide shut.
Aaron Hernandez is playing Matchmaker in prison.
What?
Subheadline, even in a fantasy Matchmaker draft, the first round is still too early for a tight end.
That's got a double meaning for tight end.
Joel, for shame.
Oh, we earned the explicit tag now,
Yeah,
Joel.
we did.
Urban Meyer trained killer Aaron Hernandez is serving time in prison
Urban
as he
Meyer,
awaits his
Oscar Mayer,
trial
Hot Dogs Urban
for
Edition.
first-degree murder, which any woman will tell you is the sexiest degree of murder.
There we go.
Hernandez has been receiving many letters from women lately, and despite his University of Florida education, he can use phonetics to read most of them, or at least get the gist. But Hernandez is happily engaged. In an attempt to create spousal privilege, of course. That was super recent.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he can't be a wing inmate.
Of course not.
Wingmate, maybe? Wing inmate? What do we?
If
Wing
it's
cellmate?
if it's wingmate, that makes him sound like an air pilot.
Let's go with wing inmate. We can
yeah.
workshop this later.
How about wing nut, right? Crazy murderer.
No, because that's what we call wing fans.
So he's having his roommates in prison write the women back who had wrote him and trying to set them up as pen pals, hoping to get them like in a relationship
How many
once
roommates does he
their
have?
sentence is served. That's a pretty swell guy. What'd you say?
How many roommates? Isn't it just one?
Well, we have two letters here that were incepted by
Oh.
Nesson. And if you would indulge me, I would like to read one of them.
Let's go. For it.
Oh.
This is a letter. This is someone writing back, and this is actual. Someone writing back a letter to someone who wrote it to Aaron Hernandez. I hope when you receive this letter, all is good and it reaches you in a positive manner. My name is Ronnie, but I go by Rondo. I'm 21, Portuguese and Italian. I have 65 tattoos. I have hazel eyes. I'm a good-looking person, I promise. You can see for yourself on Facebook. My profile name is Ronnie, redacted. I promise you won't be disappointed. I'm 165 pounds. I have a six-pack, and I'm more lean and cut up than bulky. AH is my cellmate and friend. He had given me your address saying he has a good feeling about you and I becoming pen pals. I'm currently in prison for beating up a cop. So tell me about yourself. What do you look for in a man? What kind of music do you listen to? What's your favorite color? Do you like to dance? Do you have any children? What's your current career choice? I'm going to end this here. I'll be looking forward to receiving a letter from you. Sincerely, Rondo. P.S. What do I have to do to make you smile? What's your nationality?
Wow, that sounds like it was written by a straight-up 5-year-old.
Yeah. The PS is an odd, like, that could just be in the body of the letter. My favorite part, though, is when he's like, I have 65 tattoos. I have hazel eyes.
My favorite was he set us up saying it's a good feeling about you and I becoming pen pals. I'm currently in prison for beating up a cop. So tell me about yourself. Kind of really changes the
Right.
conversation.
He's just pinging around.
Yeah.
What really amazes me is they have Facebook in prison.
Joining us now on the Sports podcast is New Orleans Saints wide receiver Lance Moore.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome to the podcast,
Yeah,
Lance.
thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on, and I think you know why you're here.
Yeah, it's because of my touchdown dance, isn't it?
Right. It
You
sounds
saw my
absolutely.
touchdown dance.
It was all over YouTube. A lot of people were really excited to see.
Yeah, they made a
reference to-
GIF out of it, which is
Just-
an animated picture show for the internet.
Yeah.
Put it
Well,
on.
Key and Peele, a really fantastic show. A lot of
Yeah.
people really like it, but still not the most widely viewed show.
No, but
Yeah.
we love it. So
Yeah,
we were watching the
absolutely.
Hingle McCringleberry sketch, and we saw
Yeah.
we saw them do the hip thrust 3 times, and I said, you know what? I play football, so I'm going to do that too.
Yeah, and hey, glad to see it.
Yeah, but I got so much attention out of this, I decided that there's got to be more in store. Now I've got my fans waiting.
Well, first you got to be scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
No,
Because-
that's a given.
Right. You're
I'm going to be scoring touchdowns.
You're, you know what, the second or third best.
Well,
receiver on the team.
I wrote another at least 65 bits, so I need to get 65 more
Oh.
touchdowns.
You think maybe
before
you
the end
might
of
be
my career.
overdoing it here, pushing this a little
Maybe
further
spread
than,
that out. Maybe
Yeah.
lower the total.
Well,
or
I'm not going to do any doubles. I'm
Okay.
going to do original bits every time.
Okay. Well, this is a
Okay,
good idea.
alright.
Yeah.
So what type of touchdown dances are you thinking?
You want to see what's in store? There's one that I'm going to do. It's going to be my next touchdown, which is probably going to come very quickly. And I'm going to take out a cowbell, and I'm going to hit the cowbell, and then the ref's going to be like, no, stop it. No more cowbell. And I'm going to be like, I got a fever, and the only prescription's more cowbell. And I'm going to keep hitting the cowbell.
Yeah, I was gonna say, gonna be hard to get out the
People are going to
dialogue.
laugh their butts off.
I don't know. That
I
one's
don't
kind.
know, yeah.
That
No.
sketch is kind of dated.
Also, you're gonna get fined for having the cowbell. You can't use foreign objects.
I
in your
think they'll
dance.
get the joke. I think they'll see it and be like, Will Ferrell, that's really funny.
Yeah. Also, you probably get flagged if the ref has to tell you to put the cowbell away and then you don't.
You know what? What's
That's-
the
let's
next
move
one?
on.
Let's
Yeah.
No,
move
it's
on.
fine. It's fine. Do you guys watch In Living Color?
No.
It's been it's been a long time since I saw an episode. I
So-
don't believe it's no longer on. I don't think
Yeah,
you can ask
no,
in the
it's
present
been-
tense.
It's been out. It's on DVD though. You can
Okay.
still watch it. But I'm gonna take off my helmet and I'm gonna be dressed as a clown, and then I'm gonna hit the ref with the sock. Powder's gonna fly everywhere, and I'm gonna be like,
You really
Lance Moore, don't play that.
you'll get ejected if you hit the ref.
No, it's with the sock though. It's soft.
Even with the sock,
I
you
watched
will
Jim
still be
Carrey take it to
ejected.
the face a lot of times during those sketches. He was okay.
All right, that's pretty funny.
right.
I just don't think you should be hitting referees. Is there
Yeah,
maybe
probably-
something?
probably don't wanna- got
Another
anything
one where
else?
you don't hit a referee.
One that's kinder.
Yeah.
Looking for
Yeah.
a touchdown dance, as all of these are dances that's a little nicer.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was thinking, have you guys ever seen Laugh-In?
It's been again a really long time since I watched an entire episode of Laugh-In.
Yeah, well, me
You're
and the
in
entire
college.
team, we're going to get behind little doors,
Oh Jesus.
and we're going to pop out, and somebody's going to say a two-liner joke, and one person's going to say the setup and then go behind the door, and then another person will say the punchline and go behind the door. That'll go on for about 5 minutes.
All right,
I
is
really
it-
don't think they're gonna let you.
What's
do
the
this.
last? Is there going to be like a last punchline? Maybe there's something you would say.
Yeah, they're going to say, what, you call those melons? You haven't seen my wife.
Okay, I was thinking maybe you go with "Sock It to Me," but
Yeah.
That's fair.
okay, that's what
That
I
would
would.
have been good, too.
And no one will hear you say this, but
Look,
Yeah.
I don't think you guys understand the genius. Apparently, you have gotten millions of views on YouTube with your antics.
Well, no, not really, but
Well, let
I
me
would
tell
say
you, I'm going to
millions.
say my coup de grace.
okay.
all right.
All right, this is going to be for my 65th touchdown. This is going to be
do not think
how
you
I
have
end my
65
career,
touchdowns left
and then
in
I'm
you,
going to
Lance.
die directly after this because it's going to be the best thing ever.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to say, I'm going to get a touchdown, and I'm going to say, hey, Willie, is that a cat? And then I'm going to eat the cat.
Like
It's like Elf.
Elf. You're going to quote Elf. for
Yep.
your-
And
See,
then
that-
I'm
that's
gonna
not
eat
even a
a cat.
touchdown dance.
Eat a cat.
Then I'm going to
on
eat
the field.
cat, and then if people don't get it, I'm going to say, it's like Elf.
There's no way you get the whole cat down before they arrest you, Lance.
Or before I go back to Melmac, my home planet.
You're really selling it here. Well, okay, Lance. Okay, well, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, watch out for more comedy antics.
We will definitely be.
YouTube.com/Lance Moore is hilarious.
You have your own page. We will definitely be
Thank you.
on the lookout.
Thank
We
you
will
very
be
much,
trying
Lance.
not to. Okay, guys. So as we explained in the intro, Black Monday was this last Monday.
Coaches fired.
Yeah, a lot of coaches were fired. And so I have something that I've always done in Black Mondays that I find pretty interesting. Ever since Craigslist came into being, the website, people are always posting job openings, and they're posting people looking for jobs. And so I like to peruse the Craigslist in the different cities that have recently fired coaches to see if I can find something. And the thing is, they try to be really subtle about it. They try to be anonymous about it, but you can always find teams and coaches looking to find each other in the Craigslist ad in these cities.
Sure,
Basically,
that's a good premise for a comedy bit.
This is almost like an NFL's missed connections.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I'm going to read a few of them, and I'm going to see if you guys can pick up on who, who.
So it's like trivia.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So this comes from Craigslist Detroit.
Okay.
And it reads as follows: former NFL coach seeking new job, talented defensive mind, head coaching experience, and hey, what are you looking at, asshole?
Sparky Anderson.
This is not correct, and I wasn't finished.
Oh.
It also adds 420 friendly.
Oh.
I mean, sounds like a cool guy.
Kwame
Yeah.
Kilpatrick.
I think it is Jim Schwartz. Hashtag Coach Athletic Apparel puns.
Very well done.
His name is Jim Schwartz. Schwartz.
Like Jim Schwartz.
Like Jim
I'm
Schwartz.
wearing some Jim
Sounds like
Schwartz.
Jim
Yeah.
But yes, I believe you're right. But I think that's probably Jim Schwartz. Well known.
So it's
for his
trivia, but
hot-headed
you don't
tempers.
know for sure either.
Well, no.
yeah.
How could we possibly know?
That's
They don't
true.
say
Yeah,
in the
no,
ad.
they don't. Yeah, but I think
He
we
could
can-
call and do his due diligence. This is a professional podcast.
Moving on, this one from Minneapolis, the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, but specifically
Kirby
Minneapolis.
Puckett.
No,
Okay.
I mean it could be. We don't know.
Oh, okay.
But it says recently unemployed coach seeking a place where a man with a woman's name can feel safe. Salary negotiable. Must have elite quarterback on staff.
Sally LaRue.
Oh no, it's Minnesota's head coach or former head coach Leslie Mann.
Leslie Frazier.
Leslie Frazier. It's
You
Leslie-
see, you added the man because you were compensating for his.
No,
woman's
Leslie
name.
Mann is a thing too, right?
Yeah, Leslie Mann is a folk singer or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh well, Leslie Frazier.
Yeah, Leslie Frazier. So that's the posting he made. And so this next one, and you got to remember, it's both. There's job openings and there's people seeking jobs here. So this is a posting for a job opening in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Team seeking new head coach. Must like talented young QB with cannon for an arm, exceptional speed, and cool braids whose long-term success has not, and that's underlined in all caps, been limited by a knee injury. Designing plays to take advantage of QB, a must. Job includes braiding hair, going to the movies with handsome team owner, backing up team owner in public over personnel decisions, and not getting all over my ass about the team's name. He dropped some of the anonymity in the end there.
Yeah.
Who do you think that is making that post?
That's Kirby Puckett.
That's
I don't think that's-
is it Schneider, the owner of
Dan Snyder,
Yeah.
owner of the Washington Redskins, if I had to guess, especially that last thing about
that
getting
kind of
all
tips
over his
it
ass.
off. Kind of
Yeah.
tips it off there.
And so this next one, coming from Tampa Bay, is simultaneously extremely broad and yet very specific.
Okay.
All it says is seeking job that does not involve Josh Freeman.
Well, I mean that could be anyone.
Could be anyone.
Josh Freeman.
Josh Freeman, the former quarterback
Yeah.
for the Tampa Bay
Is it
Buccaneers.
Josh Freeman?
It's not. It's not. It could
Okay.
be actually Josh.
It'd be a
Freeman.
very selfie-facing joke for Josh Freeman to make.
Yeah,
Kids
but
love selfies.
I feel like Josh Freeman right now is probably looking for a job that doesn't involve him because
Right.
he has not been doing so well.
My guess would be Greg Schiano. Maybe.
Greg Schiano, recently fired, had a very public spat with Josh Freeman. It seems like he's not even interested in coaching. He just wants any job that does not involve Josh
But we
Freeman.
don't know this for sure, right?
Well, this is all speculation.
So how do
All
you know they're all not
speculation.
Kirby Puckett?
We don't, Phil.
Okay.
We've established that. They could be Kirby Puckett, but we think based on the evidence.
Very
I just
unlikely
don't
it's
like the
Kirby-
way you look at me when you say that it's not
Also,
Kirby Puckett.
well, Kirby Puckett is dead.
and has been for several years.
so
Yeah.
it's not Kirby Puckett.
It's not Kirby
You
Puckett.
might
I
have
mean-
scheduled these releases.
Yeah, it does. It could be Kirby Puckett.
Well, I think
It
it's
just
time
seems
that
extremely unlikely.
Joel and I sat you down and told you that Kirby Puckett
Kirby
died
Puckett's
a few
dead.
years ago.
When we told you that Kirby Puckett went to a farm out in the country,
Yeah?
that was not
with,
true.
with all the other Kirby
Yeah.
Puckets that
We
you
told
can play
you
with.
he'd have all that room to run around.
Yeah.
That
And then he
wasn't
could
true.
just see for miles.
Yeah,
Glaucoma didn't bother him anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
these things were not true, Phil. I'm
Now
sorry,
I'm too
but you're old
sad
enough
for
now.
trivia.
Okay, so one last one here.
Kirby Puckett.
It's not Kirby
It's
Puckett.
not
Okay.
Kirby Puckett. This one though, it's a job opening post in Cleveland. NFL team seeking head coach, and that actually probably pretty much gives it away. But NFL team seeking head coach with very open mind, flexible schedule, irrepressible spirit, and ability to look on the bright side of any situation a must. Job is not for you if you consider yourself, in quotes, results-oriented or enjoy sunlight. Must have flexible definition of success. 420 friendly.
Cleveland Browns.
That is correct, Phil.
Kirby Puckett.
No.
And you lost it.
Yeah.
For you, the listeners of Sports Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. I personally recommend a wonderful book called The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Joel saw the movie. He said that it was okay. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Again, that's audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network for your free audiobook. And now it's time for another Weird Sportsman! Weird Sportsman.
All right, who is the weird man of sport today?
This week's Weird Sportsman, Pete Rose.
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose.
Baseball's all-time hit leader.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you already
weird
know
in the-
this
yeah,
one.
Not weird in the obscurity sense.
No, but I read his story and I found it to be very strange.
This is a good point. Pete Rose has one hell of a story.
Peter Edward Pete Rose, born April 14th, 1941, also known for his nickname, Charlie Hustle.
It's true.
Love that
It's a good
nickname.
It's a great nickname.
He hustled a lot, Phil.
Yeah.
More than other people.
And apparently he hustled a guy named Charlie, or
No, he just hustled. I don't know where the Charlie really comes from.
I like it. Charlie Hustle
Yeah.
is a former Major League Baseball player and manager. Rose played from 1963 to 1986 and managed from 1984 to 1989.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to skip all the boring stuff about him and get to his interesting stuff.
I'm guessing had a very fruitful career.
Yeah,
I would imagine his post-career was filled with financial success,
Yeah.
good investments.
You don't get all the most hits in the history of baseball without having a good head in your shoulders.
I'll go a little bit into his early life because I like some of this. Pete Rose was born April 14th, 1941 in Cincinnati, Ohio.
1941.
Yeah.
April, the day before your taxes are due.
I know, right?
Wow.
What a life. He was one of 4 children, born to Harry Francis Pete Rose and Laverne Rose.
Wait, why was his dad called Pete?
I don't know. Harry Francis Pete Rose. Pete was in quotations, so that means everyone called him Pete. But his real name, Harry Francis Rose.
Actually, that's kind of true for my dad. So,
Really? What's your dad?
my dad's Charles Ward Anderson, but everyone just called him Andy for his entire life.
Charles Ward Pete Anderson.
Correct.
And Laverne Rose. He was a member of the Order of Demole as a young boy.
What is that, Phil?
It's a
The
club that's a big fan of the popular Mexican sauce.
Yeah, of mole. It's actually he's a Knights Templar thing.
Was I not supposed to ask this
Freemason.
question, Phil?
He's a
We're gonna have to
Freemason.
kill you now,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep, he's a Freemason. And he was encouraged by his parents to participate in sports, and participate in sports he did. Played baseball and football at Western Hills High School. He was small for his age, but earned the starting running back position on his freshman football team. Was promoted to varsity, did real good, won a bunch of stuff. Got into the MLB. He played for the Phillies. Played for the Expos.
He played for the Expos?
Yeah,
Toward the very end of his career.
1984.
And the Reds, most importantly.
Now let's
Yeah.
skip down to
Not
permanent ineligibility. Amidst reports that he had bet on baseball, Rose was questioned in February 1989 by outgoing Commissioner Peter Uberoth.
Pete
Pete Uberoth and his replacement, Bart Giamatti. Pete Giamatti. Rose denied the allegations and Uberoth dropped the investigation. However, 3 days after Giamatti became commissioner, lawyer John M. Dowd was retained to investigate these charges against Rose. He had the charges dropped, and then the new commissioner came in and he's like, "Nuh-uh, Huckleberry. You're in my world now." Sports Illustrated, who first reported the story of Rose's gambling in March of 21st to 1989, gave the public their first detailed report of the allegations that Rose had placed bets on baseball games. Sports Illustrated ran the cover story in an issue for the week of April 3rd, 1989. This story was broke by Sports Illustrated.
And then he was banned for life from Paul Giamatti's dad.
That's true.
Pete
Giamatti.
Dowd interviewed many of Rose's associates, including alleged bookies and bet runners. God, I wish that someday I had, like, alleged bookies and bet runners for me.
I want to know, is a bet runner like the bookie's assistant or like...
I think so. He's got to be the one to run it to the big money, right?
Yeah.
He takes the money from you,
And
brings it to
we
the
should
pot.
be clear here. When it says alleged bookies and bet runners, it really means bookies and bet runners. I
Right.
don't think it's alleged at this point
Yeah,
at all.
I guess they probably didn't go to trial, but...
It was bookies and bet runners.
Yeah. He delivered a summary of his findings to the commissioner in May. In it, Dowd documented Rose's alleged gambling activities in 1985 and 1986 and compiled a day-to-day account of Rose's alleged betting on baseball games in 1987. The Dowd report documented his alleged bets on 52 Reds games in 1987.
Oof.
He was betting on almost everyone on the team he managed.
That's one out. That's like 1 out of every 3 games.
But
they
this is
played.
my favorite, where Rose wagered a minimum of $10,000 a day.
Whoa!
$10,000 a day.
$10,000 a day?
$10,000 a Pete day. Others alleged to have been involved in the activities claimed that the number was actually $2,000 a day. That makes it less fun, though.
But still, like an absurd amount of money to be gambling.
He got in trouble. Tax evasion.
Ruh-roh.
On April 20th, 1990, Rose pleaded guilty to 2 charges of filing false income tax returns, not showing income he received from selling autographs and memorabilia, and from horse racing winnings. This dude loved to gamble. He
Yeah.
was playing the ponies, and he was betting $10,000 a day.
I'd like to. I mean,
And also, there are plenty of sports you can bet on that are not baseball,
Right.
all of which would have been okay.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have been busted for
he
it.
totally could have gotten away with a lot of them. But hey, let's face it. I think we all know, like, people who, if they had that sort of money, they would probably be betting $10,000 a day.
Oh, yeah.
Like say, Ty Lieberman
who
a friend of
everybody
ours.
listening knows. They
has
all
gotten
know Ty.
engaged. so
Ty
Pete
Lieberman.
Lieberman.
congrats to Ty, who got engaged to his boyfriend. So that's big news.
On July 19th, Rose was sentenced to 5 months in a medium security prison camp. It's like prison, only a little more festive. You do arts and crafts. You go to prison
Yeah.
camp. At the United States Penitentiary in Marion,
Usually you hook
Illinois.
up with your counselor, and it's a whole thing.
And then he was fined $50,000. That's 5 days of gambling.
Right there.
Marion was the hometown of Fosse, the man whom Rose bowled over during the All-Star game nearly 20 years prior, resulting in injuries that would plague Fosse for the rest of his career.
Oh yeah, that was a whole thing.
Yeah, he was
You
released.
glossed over that, Phil.
Yeah, right. He was released on January 7th, 1991, after having paid $366,041 in back taxes and interest, and was required to perform 1,000 hours of community service.
That's a lot of hours of community service.
I hope
is.
he got a nickname in community service. Or they just called him by Charlie Hustle.
They
his
probably
old
called
name.
him Charlie
Yeah,
Hustle.
Charlie Hustle.
If he were paid $10 an hour for his community service, that would pay for 1 day of gambling.
That's true. Some would think that that's the end of the story, as that's
Yeah, it
Last
doesn't
time we
sound
had
like
a
he
legal
can do
story.
much more than that. Pete has already filled his life with all sorts of debauchery and gambling.
WWE.
What?
Between 1998 and 2000, Rose appeared at the World Wrestling Entertainment's annual WrestleMania pay-per-view event. At WrestleMania 14, he served as a guest ring announcer during a match between Kane and The Undertaker.
Whoa, look out.
Undefeated at
Who
WrestleMania
won
Undertaker.
that match between Kane and The Undertaker?
Undertaker.
Before which...
Because he's undefeated at
Right, he's
WrestleMania.
yeah. Before which he took a tombstone pile driver from Kane.
Oh, jeepers.
Yeah, that's
Is that one that hits you in the head? Because as we established before, good head and shoulders for Pete
plows
Rose
him
here.
right in the head. You
Hope
put the
he
head
didn't-
between the legs, you sit down.
Hope he
crams
did
his head in
not
the mat.
damage his valuable brain that makes all of his good decisions.
For next year's WrestleMania 15, Rose was portrayed as seeking revenge, also known as he was seeking revenge. To do so, he dressed as the San Diego Chicken and attached Kane before his scheduled match, only to take another tombstone pile driver. He returned for a third time the following year at WrestleMania 2000, but again was thwarted by Kane, as well as Rikishi, his tag team partner, that night.
Don't they almost always, when they have like a celebrity on, make them the face opposed to the heel?
Not Pete Rose.
Sounds like they opted not to do this for Pete Rose. I almost said Hall of Famer Pete Rose.
Pete Rose got a lot of baggage even for WWE.
Yeah.
Still not good enough. Peter Edward Pete Rose. And that brings to an end another Weird Sportsman!
Citizens of Podcast Town, this brings to the close another sports podcast. Before we go, Phil would like to give you our contact information.
You can email us at sportspodcast@gmail.com. That's sportspodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at sports3podcast. That's at sports3podcast. You can find us on Facebook by searching sports podcast, your little top bar thingy. You can find us on Stitcher Radio. Download the Stitcher app today at stitcher.com and search sports podcast. You can find us on YouTube by going to youtube.com/comedypodnet. While you're there, please subscribe and comment. You can find us on iTunes by searching sports3 space podcast. That's sports3, all one word, space podcast, or find all of our back episodes at comedypodcastnetwork.com.
I hate to say this. I should have said something before you started, Phil, but
Yep.
I made some changes to our like email address and our Twitter and everything.
Really?
Yeah, the email address is now sportspodcast@gmail.com. The Twitter feed is now
It's the
S3 Petecast. The Petecast is what we changed it to. Yeah, so they're all different. I should have said something. I'm sorry, Phil.
Good.
Lights off.
You have received this transmission from the Comedy Podcast Network. For more shows, visit comedypodcastnetwork.com.